Hello everyone. Um, so, in Act 4, Scene 1 of Richard II, I think there are some of the better monologues from Richard in the play that are featured. My personal favorite of the monologues from this scene is comparatively short. It's only about 9 lines, but I think it displays Richard's emotionality really well, and it addresses Richard's and most likely Shakespeare's perception of the ideology behind kingship with more efficiency than other longer monologues that are in the same scene. So the context behind this monologue is that Richard has just been called before the court to transfer his place on the throne to Bolingbroke once and for all. Although at this point Richard has no de facto authority over the court, which has decidedly turned against him, he still bears the crown and the title of king. In this scene, the crown itself is a manifestation of a king's divine right to reign, so by having both Richard and Bolingbroke grasp the crown, we are given a manifestation of the struggle to keep or obtain kingship by Richard and Bolingbroke respectively, which is the struggle that has, led up to this moment. In this monologue, Richard uses the crown as a metaphoric device, describing it as a well with 2 imaginary buckets, one at the top and one at the bottom. The bucket at the bottom of the well is full of water, and the one at the top is empty. So I think the best way to imagine this is that each bucket kind of keeps the other in place, and that is, of course, until the top bucket is lowered, thus filling the formerly empty bucket and emptying the formerly filled bucket. So the roles are reversed, but the system kind of remains the same. In the context of this scene, it is implied that the water filling up the bucket at the bottom is representative of the weight and importance of kingship that is understood by those beneath the throne, while the bucket at the top has none of this understanding because of its position. With the crown as the well, the crown becomes a threshold by which this relationship changes. And I think this shows Richard thinking critically about why his actions as king have resulted in his fall from power, in that he, possessed the kingship without kind of understanding or appreciating the gravitas that and the weight that kingship brings. But I think it also shows his rationale surrounding the relationship between figures of authority and people who seek that authority. That relationship is shown as being imbalanced, but ultimately part of one push-pull system. This is similar to how Shakespeare describes systems of power in other plays as well. The other day we saw how Volumnia describes the relationship between individual honor and mass appeal as not mutually exclusive, but rather part of the same imbalanced system. That said, I think this monologue, in that it is so similar to the ideas featured in some of the other plays we've read, could show how Shakespeare's understanding of power and the pursuit of power is an ultimately unequal relationship between one party and another. Another interesting thing about this scene is that there are no real stage directions. It's just kind of implied that Richard and Bolingbroke both have their hands on the crown, which I think is a cool image. So I'm going to try to replicate that. Here we go. Let me just move my phone. Okay. Yes, I went out and found the most kingly crown that I could. Okay. Here, cousin, seize the crown. Here, cousin, on this side my hand, on that side yours. Now, is this golden crown like a deep well that owes 2 buckets, filling one another, the emptier dancing in the air, the other down, unseen and full of water. That bucket down and full of tears am I, drinking my griefs, whilst you mount up on high. Right. Thank you.